So let's get into this article by Evie magazine. And I'm going to read this because it's going to be very small on the screen. So it says women have the power to end hookup culture if they just stop having casual sex with men. Okay, so let me read the title again. Women have the power to end hookup culture if they just stop having casual sex with men. There are more women than ever complaining about how hookup culture has ruined their chances of finding a long-term and long-lasting relationship with a man who's interested in commitment. But few people realize that women have the power to end hookup culture forever if they just stop having casual sex with men. And it goes on. The romantic comedies of the early 2000s featured female protagonists who were trying to find their one true love. The lead characters of 27 Dresses, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and Sweet Home Alabama were career driven women who were just as interested in finding a husband or at least a long term boyfriend as they were in their professional success. But one thing they weren't interested in was casual sex with random guys. But fast forward 10 to 15 years, and suddenly there are numerous TV shows and movies that feature female protagonists who seemingly find great pleasure in sleeping around and committing to nothing and no one. Movies like Trainwreck and Friends with Benefits might be entertaining stories, but eventually end up with characters finding love. But the 2010s and onward showed a significant shift in the way we talk about hookup culture and casual sex. It started being presented as something positive for women, something that was going to empower them and improve their lives. Here we go again with the feminism and the bullshit, right? That it's your body, your choice, and you can sleep around and it's going to empower you and it's going to improve your life. A life from the pit of hell. But let me continue. Single women everywhere started to believe that there was great satisfaction in sleeping around and warding off commitment. After all, avoiding romance and intimacy, aka catching feelings, means you also avoid heartache, breakups, and general unhappiness. At least that's what we thought from shows like Sex and the City. As a result, countless women in their 20s and their 30s over the last several years have sworn off long term relationships and instead devoted their time and efforts to dating apps. For the most part, hookup culture begins in college. Yep. Surveys have shown that 86% of college students report hooking up with at least one person while in school. 3% of college students say their school is dominated by hookup culture. Sadly, only 57% of women who've had a random hookup are pleased with their choice after it's all said and done. From then on, hooking up is just part of adulthood, and it's certainly accepted as part of dating. This is reinforced by Hollywood, the media, and just about every mainstream machine that has had an influence on the culture. But after years of accepting and even encouraging hookup culture, we are finally arriving at the point where we're realizing just how detrimental not only to women but to our entire society. So, what have been the effects of hookup culture? Let's talk about that. We've come a long way from the days of courtship where a man would arrive at the woman's home to pick her up and take her out for a nice date, which was usually chaperoned by a parent or an older relative. But the sexual revolution turned everything on its heads and somehow painted traditional courtship as misogynistic and offensive to women. Because our sexuality is not something to be bought or to be earned. It belongs only to ourselves, and it's ours to give whenever we see fit. Sex soon became free and easy to achieve, and this was all wrapped up in a fake little bow of empowerment and feminism. But this comes at a price. Ladies, giving away your body and sex is not for free. As I've just read, it comes at a price. And you've heard in my previous story about the wife who had many hookups when the man that she was dating for a while went away to the army. She had many hookups and she's gotten HPV, which now has led to cervical cancer. So sleeping around, hooking up, one night stands is a heavy price to pay. Random sex is unnatural and detrimental. We don't need peer-reviewed studies or scientific data to tell us that random sex is unnatural and detrimental. As much as we try to deny our nature and demand that we can have sex like a man, there's something that happens all the way down to our soul when we give our body away for free to any guy that we find mildly attractive. We already know that our bodies release a hormone called oxytocin when we have sex, which has been nicknamed the love hormone that can even aid sperm in reaching their destination to an egg to fertilize it. Do you see how powerful that is? Researchers have found that couples who've had a romantic attachment to one another have higher levels of oxytocins than their unattached counterparts. Other research has found that different parts of the woman's brain lights up when she is sexually aroused compared to men, including the parts that are responsible for emotion, joy, satisfaction, hunger, tiredness, and even memory. Do you see, ladies, how deep this thing goes? Oxytocin is also the key hormone for bonding. Remember, I was talking about that? Bonding with our partner. And it increases the amount of empathy we feel. Women produce much more oxytocin during sex than men do, which can make us feel much more attached to the man we're having sex with. Our hormones don't know if we're just casually hooking up or if we're making love to our husband. So no matter how much we try to tell ourselves that random sex doesn't make us feel connected to men. So ladies, stop sleeping your way thinking that you're going to make this man yearn and desire a relationship with you. It doesn't work. You've heard it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Having sex with multiple men that don't have meaningful connections with makes it much more likely for women to have broken hearts, hurt emotions, and feeling of emptiness and loneliness, no matter how much they don't like to admit it. So are you a woman? And I was really speaking to the women today. And I'm going to talk to the guys too, because you guys, you men, you have a part to play in this as well. Okay? So ladies, Have you been engaging in hookups with one night stand, casual sex with or friends with benefits or situations, and you feel lonely, you feel empty, you feel like there's something missing? Well, here is why. Of all the men that you've been sleeping with, having casual relationships with, situations, one night stands, it's all perpetuating those feelings, those negative feelings. It's no coincidence that the popularity of hookup culture started to rise along with the increase in mental health issues such as depression and anxiety and the use of psychiatric medications. So now it's even prevalent in the mental health issues, because when you're having all those negative emotions, that it will have an impact on your mental health for sure. Absolutely. Peer bonding with your future husband is also more difficult. See? So it's not only affecting you now, peer bonding and having that bonding with your husband is going to make it even more challenging after casual sex. Having sex with multiple people rewires the brains and affects the the neurochemical production that makes it more difficult to fully connect with someone intimately. Oxytocin is especially important in sexual encounters to feel close to your partner, which can also help your relationship last longer and be more successful. But hookup culture has physical effects on many men and women to potentially destroy the chance of fully bonding with the person they end up marrying. The high rate we see in the US has many factors, but we can't deny that hookup culture has had some effect on it over the last decade or so. And now we're seeing more women are starting to turn away from hookup culture, which is good. But we still need more women to stop it, especially at the college level, because once you start there, it's hard to stop, right? There seems to be some change in the air. There's a counterculture movement happening in which women speak out against hookup culture and are beginning to realize that they have been sold a lie. And you have been sold a lie. Perhaps giving your body away to the hot guy at the bar that you just met but will never see again isn't a great idea. And it really doesn't leave you feeling confident and secure in yourself. So let's see if I can share this with you. Let's show you an example of, let's see.
Hookup culture is a scam, and the women are being finessed. I made a video the other day saying how the world has conditioned women to thinking hookup culture is empowering. I wholeheartedly believe it was some dude who was in a group with his friends and was like, you know what? We're going to make them think we hate this, that they're hooking up just like us and they're giving themselves up to us. Really think about it. A lot of women be getting into hookup culture because that's the closest you're going to get to that man. That's the closest to affection and intimacy that you're going to get with the guy you have your eyes on. But that's the closest you're going to get to intimacy without actually trying to be vulnerable. And then our bodies, not theirs, not men's, our bodies are the one who release a hormone that make us attached to them. Even if that man means nothing to you, your body just released a hormone that makes you more attached to him. That don't happen to him, just us. Now, even if you don't have feelings for him, maybe now that dude has the capability to piss you off just a little easier than he was able to the day before. And there are so many women I've spoken to that are like, oh yeah, I could do it. I don't get attached. Yes, y'all do. Y'all do. We do. Because I've done this too. There are women who are even more intentional about it. They're like, oh, if I start having sex with him, if I start hooking up with this dude, he's going to start paying more attention to me. We have this bond. We just get each other. No, y'all don't. Y'all don't have that big of a bond. Okay? I'm here to wake y'all up. Throwing off your pH balance, messing with these dudes. You are stressing yourself out. You are like losing your youth, giving this part of yourself to these dudes. It's not a win for us. It don't benefit us. You want to hold power? View your body as a prize.
Here you go. Well said. So that's one of the the videos that I wanted to show you and share with you because she's dropping facts. And let's see, there is another one I want to show you here. Not this one. Okay, this one here.
Participating in hookup culture is one of the most misogynistic things you can do for yourself. It really only benefits men, and women take on most of the risks. Feminism has convinced women that sexual liberation through casual sex is empowerment. How is it empowering to give yourself to a man that only views you as an object? The bar is so low. All it takes is a drink or a Netflix special, and you allow a complete stranger to have access to your most intimate and vulnerable energy. And for what? How many of your hookups put your needs before theirs? Now, if you genuinely enjoy promiscuity, good for you. But the majority of women, if they were truly being honest with themselves, are seeking male validation, a sense of self-worth, and affection.
There you go. And there you have it. Those are just a couple examples of, women realizing, hey, that hookup culture is not what it is cracked up to be. It's a lie. It's a lie of feminism that you're going to be more empowered. You're going to feel better about yourself. No, you don't. I've listed all the negatives that happen to a woman when you engage in hookup culture. Now, I'm not here to preach, I'm not here to preach or anything. I am here to share with you and to educate you and to enlighten you that this is a lie. Hooking up, sleeping around, having casual sex comes with a price. Okay. We've all been there, and we have the scars to show that casual sex with someone, that even if you have feelings for the person, if that person doesn't have feelings for you, if that man doesn't have feelings for you, and you think that it's going to bring you closer, or that's going to, encourage him to want to have a relationship with you and to settle down with you, it's not. It doesn't work. Trust me, I know it doesn't work. So moving on, let's talk about. So we've talked about, that women do have the power to end hookup culture. And my question of the day is, what will it take? Well, as I just shared with you, it takes women to stop sleeping around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that they meet, or having casual sex, or having what do you call it? Friends with benefits. Yes.